Yamaha R1 is a champion of the litre superbike class. This is the 5th generation version that, for the first time, shifts emphasis away from the road to the track, thanks to technology inherited from Yamaha's MotoGP racing team, not to mention a little development help from a rider by the name of Valentino Rossi. Part of the attraction of a superbike is as objects, and with the R1's magnesium wheels, beautifully machined top yoke, titanium exhaust and endless details, you will honestly not know where to look first on this thing. You can tell it means business when the LED lights play understudy to this huge intake bang in the middle of the fairing to maximise the amount of air it can push through into that all-new 998cc liquid-cooled inline 4-cylinder that uses Yamaha's MotoGP style cross-plane crank. Now, by moving the pistons at 90 degrees to one another to create that cross-plane crank, it helps reduce the amount of inertial torque when the bike is running, and that in itself reduces the power pulse, which gives the rider a more linear, smoother throttle action. So in effect, you're getting the buttery power delivery of a V4, but with all the packaging benefits of an inline 4. The Yamaha R1 develops 197 brake horsepower at 13,500 RPM, and when it's hooked up to a 6-speed manual gearbox complete with a quick shifter, it'll top out at 180 miles an hour. It's also got launch control, a lift control system, fully adjustable Kayaba front forks and rear shock, as well as a 6-axis inertial measurement unit that is hooked up to all the rider aids. As soon as you get on the R1, it does feel quite compact for a litre class, but the seat is tall, so this is not going to be a bike for shorter riders or for passengers, judging by that pillion pad. With the exception of a fuel gauge, the dash is loaded with information and very logically laid out. I've got this rotating thumb wheel to scroll through my temperature, my average fuel, my odometer, but also this bottom ledge also reveals which of the 4 rider modes I'm in, and that in itself has predetermined settings for the 4 stages of power, the 9 stages of traction control and the 4 levels of slide control. There is a track mode which prominently displays your lap times in front of you, but if you wanted to get even more track focused, then the more expensive and more exclusive R1M adds carbon fibre bodywork, wider tyres, Olin suspension and a GPS data logging chip.
The R1 is pretty extreme because of this riding position, the firm suspension, and the gearing is so long to the extent that you could actually be staring at a prison sentence in first alone. That said, when you do pick up the speed in de-restricted areas or even motorways, the ride quality is pretty good, it's comfortable, the bike feels stable, the steering's neutral, and there are no vibrations through the pegs or the bars. But it's only on the track where this thing really comes alive. Oh, now you're talking. The tachometer starts in black, but as you crank up the rev range, it changes to green, and then in comes the shift light to remind you to engage that quick shifter. It all happens so frenetically. It revs like it's got absolutely no inertia. I know plenty superbikes are this fast, for sure, but I think the R1 just feels like it's wanting to work with you more, and I love that.
For the hardcore track day rider, the Yamaha R1 is off the scale. But even for regular road riders, it doesn't intimidate. Those variable rider modes are there for you to ride faster and safer than ever. Factor in Japanese dependability and an extensive dealer support network, and you're looking at one of the most resolved and finest superbikes in a generation.